Have you ever said something to a woman and she suddenly started looking at you differently? It wasn't a cheap pickup line. It wasn't a forced compliment either. It was a simple, direct sentence, but loaded with intention. And when she heard it, something shifted. Her body relaxed. Her smile became more genuine. And for the first time, you felt like you were in control of the situation. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what to say to trigger that kind of reaction. And more importantly, how to say it so that she feels something real and intense. It doesn't matter if it's through text, in person, or during an unexpected reunion. What you're about to learn has the power to flip the game in your favor, without pretending to be someone you're not. Have you noticed how most men try too hard to please, saying things like, "Whatever you want. You can choose," or "It's up to you"? The intention might be good, but the impact is devastating. These phrases show insecurity and lack of direction, two major killers of attraction. What many women really want is a man who knows what he wants and says it clearly. And that's where the power of the phrase "I want" comes in. When you say "I want" with conviction, you're expressing something much deeper than a simple desire. You're showing leadership, clarity of intention, and masculinity, qualities that a woman's subconscious interprets as strength. It's not about being bossy or arrogant. It's about being direct. For example, instead of saying, "We can hang out sometime," say, "I want to take you out to dinner on Friday." See the difference? A man who leads creates both comfort and desire. Picture a woman who's spent her whole day solving problems at work, making tough decisions, and having to maintain a strong posture. When she meets a man who knows what he wants, who decides without hesitation, it's a relief. It's like she can finally relax because she's with someone who doesn't need to be led. He leads. That feeling is deeply attractive, even if she won't openly admit it. The phrase "I want" is simple, but it carries a huge emotional weight. Use it in the right situations with a calm tone and confident posture. "I want to see you today. I want to get to know you better. I want to share a moment with you." That shows you're not just testing the waters. You're there because you chose to be. And women feel special when they're chosen by men who have options, but act with certainty. Quick question. Do you remember the last time you were direct with a woman and expressed what you truly wanted? No games, no beating around the bush, just making your desire or intention clear. A lot of guys avoid doing that out of fear of rejection. But the truth is, avoiding being direct often leads to something worse, being ignored. And that slowly chips away at your confidence without you even realizing it. Let's flip the script. Imagine you're texting with an interesting woman. Instead of sending a generic "good morning" or trying to be the funny guy, you just say, "I want to see you this week." Simple, direct, and honest. That kind of message creates positive tension. She's not used to that. Most guys hesitate, stall, wait for the right moment that never comes. Meanwhile, the ones who are straightforward stand out. "Now, I want to hear from you." Have you ever said that phrase with confidence to a woman? What was her reaction? It doesn't matter if it was over text or face-to-face. It might have been a scheduled date, an unexpected response, or even an awkward, "That teaches you something too." Drop a comment below and share what happened. Your experience might open the eyes of other guys who are exactly where you once were. This kind of exchange matters. Men grow when they share what works and what doesn't. Maybe you realize that being clear saved you days of indecision. Or maybe you found out she wasn't that into you, and you moved on faster. Either way, this phrase has the power to reveal the truth. And the truth, even when uncomfortable, is always better than wasting time in doubt. Some words may seem harmless, but they can sabotage everything you've built in seconds. You know when a guy says, "If you want, we can hang out sometime," or "I don't know, what do you prefer?" It might sound polite at first, but in practice it screams insecurity. That kind of talk shifts the responsibility to her, and that's a burden she often doesn't want or won't carry. Many men are afraid of coming off as pushy, so they fall into the trap of being overly neutral. But too much neutrality kills attraction. When you leave everything up to her, you give off a sense of aimlessness. She thinks, If he doesn't even know what he wants with me, why should I waste my time? That judgment happens in seconds, and it's rarely said out loud. Of course, every relationship should have room for dialogue, but don't confuse being respectful with being passive. A woman who's attracted to a man doesn't expect him to check in with her for every single step. She wants to feel that he knows what he's doing, that he's confident and present. That doesn't exclude playfulness or care. It just removes the excess caution that, to her, feels like emotional weakness. This mistake isn't just in the words. It's in the tone, the pauses, the subtext. A guy says something with doubt, in his voice, fidgeting with his phone, avoiding eye contact. That's when the impact is lost. That's why, besides avoiding vague phrases, you also need to pay attention to how you express yourself. She reads your subtext long before she processes your actual words. Sometimes the problem isn't what you said, it's how you said. Maybe two people can say the exact same sentence, but create completely different effects. One man says, "I want to see you today," with confidence, steady eye contact, and a subtle smile, and she feels butterflies. Another says it with a quiet voice, eyes on the ground as if asking for permission, and she instantly loses interest. The difference isn't in the words, but in the energy behind them. Women pick up on way more than just what you say. They notice signals in your tone of voice, your posture, even your breathing. What communicates value isn't just the message, it's the feeling behind it. When you speak with confidence, she feels like she's dealing with a man who trusts himself. And confidence in this context isn't loud or aggressive. It's well-managed silence. It's solid presence. Have you noticed how charismatic leaders don't need to raise their voice? They pause, breathe, make eye contact. Their voice has rhythm. Their body moves with intention. Seduction is in the details. So before you think about what you're going to say to that woman you want to attract, ask yourself, how am I going to say this? Real impact comes from delivery, not just from the script. If you want to practice this, start recording yourself speaking. Watch it carefully. Look at your posture, see if your gaze shows presence, if your tone sounds calm or anxious. Most men never do this, which is why they keep making the same mistakes. Once you learn to control your delivery, your communication stops being fragile and starts carrying weight, magnetism, and direction. In the digital world, the impact of words takes on a different dynamic. There's no tone of voice, no body language. All that's left is the content, and that's exactly why most men sound the same. They send the same predictable messages like, "Good morning, how are you?" and get lost in the sea of boring guys in her inbox. If you want to be remembered, you need to break out of autopilot. One effective way to do that is by using the phrase, "I want," with emotional intelligence. For example, "I want to tell you something, but only in person." That line is a subtle invitation. It sparks curiosity and taps into her sense of anticipation. She starts to wonder, what does he want to tell me? And that's exactly how you occupy space in her mind, even without being physically present. Another strategy, use the intention behind the phrase without sounding needy or rushed. "I want to see you again," but this time you pick the place. Here you show desire and also keep it light. Or, "I want to see you smile today, send me a picture later." Notice how these approaches are direct but without pressure. You're planting an emotional seed and letting it grow over time. The key is finding a balance between intention and naturalness. You don't have to play the seducer all the time, but don't be just another WhatsApp robot either. Women appreciate originality, and well-crafted messages with a touch of genuine desire have more power than any emoji or forced joke. If you know how to use this channel well, she'll be waiting for your message the next day. Most men try to impress women with facts, their job, their achievements, their assets. But women connect through feelings, not resumes. That's why phrases like "I understand," when used sincerely, create an instant emotional bridge. They show that you listen, that you're tuned in to what she feels. And when you combine that with "I want," something powerful is born. Attraction with empathy. Picture a real-life scenario. She shares something stressful about her day, a problem at work, or frustration with someone. Instead of offering solutions, you say, "I understand how that could be draining." Just that makes her let her guard down. Then, right after, you add your desire. "I want to take you out and help you disconnect from all this chaos." Now you've made an emotional connection and suggested something that moves the dynamic between you forward. This combo works because it sets you apart from the extremes. You're not cold and overly logical, but also not clingy or insecure. You position yourself as someone who understands her emotional side, but also has direction and initiative. That puts you in a rare category, the man who is both trustworthy and desirable. And that balance is magnetic because it appeals to both her mind and her heart. Important, this isn't some formula to repeat like a robot. It's a mindset. Before you try to win someone over, learn to notice. Before you act, feel. Words only. Work when they reflect an authentic posture. When you truly understand and want, it shows. And then, whether it's a message, a call, or a face-to-face conversation, she feels it. And when a woman feels it, that's when real connection begins. Now it's time to stop absorbing and start applying. You don't need more theory. You need real experience. Grab your phone right now. Think of a woman you already have some kind of connection with. Maybe a recent conversation, an old flirt, or even someone you just ran into again. Write something simple, direct, and intentional. Something like, "I want to see you this week." And send it. Don't wait until you feel brave. Courage comes after the action. Waiting for the perfect moment only keeps you stuck in the same place. What separates an average guy from an irresistible one is the willingness to act even when he's nervous. You don't need to look perfect. You just need to come across as real. Women feel that, and they value it way more than you think. If her response is positive, great. You moved forward. If she doesn't reply or dodges the topic, that's good too. You saved your time and energy on someone who maybe wasn't that interested to begin with. Either way, you come out stronger than you went in. That's how you build real confidence. Through practice, not through stockpiled theory. Now I want to know, are you up for the challenge? Send that message today. Then come back here and share what happened. No matter the result, you'll already be miles ahead of most guys who just watch but never act. Your growth starts the moment you decide to move. So go ahead and make it happen.